Hello everybody, this is Dr. Deborah. I am clearly a Mays fan. Have been so since the mid-70s when well, not so close to the mid, maybe closer to the 80s, when I realized what I had been missing out on by not paying him more attention. Thank you, Barbara. Thank you, Becky. Becky introduced him to me. Barbara put him in my soul by listening to, she had a cassette that she played every day several times, and I heard it. So my friend Mary called me and told me the next day that he died, and I was like, whoa, but not really, because I had been paying attention to him in the last days, and I could tell he was on the decline. Of course, we knew that from going to the concerts and singing most of the song, because his voice just could not carry the way it used to. And so then I was telling somebody the other day, I have about 4 CDs, and several of them got the same songs on them, but I bought it for the song that was not on the one that I had before. So I got a nice redundant collection of music, but I'll do it again. So I'm listening to his music, I'm looking at the videos. Roland Martin's talking about him and interviewed him, and I had heard someone interview him several years ago that I never forgot it, because I could tell from the way he was talking, he was my kind of guy, and I didn't know that till I heard him just really express his ideas and his thoughts. So then I'm listening for the last few days to the music over and over, and two of the videos Roland Martin did where he talked to him. And then there was another one where somebody was introducing, it was him, his, and 2 cousins. They were interviewing. I'm listening to that, and I'm thinking about what I heard on the Roland Martin recordings, and everybody wants to know what is in the world, how in the world did he create what he created with us, and never getting the highest accolades for it. And we already know, we know from Tyler Perry, we like who we like and we support who we like. So that's the way we did with this man and his band. And as I listened to the Martin talk about him and listened to his words that he shared when he was talking with his cousins, he basically answered the question, how in the world was he able to do what he's done with his music and with his audience for so long, not having put out a song since 1995 or 7, one of those two. And that's because and I'm quoting him now, he said, everybody has a call and everybody has a gift. Everybody has something that God has given them to use. Music was his. Now, and then he said, I wasn't supposed to be a minister, but he was basically likening what he has done to ministry. And that's the answer to the question, how we can show up at those concerts with our white on, dance with people we don't know, hugging people we don't know. And I see myself at the Essence Music Festival. There was this young man I was dancing with. I don't even think we exchanged names. The song was playing, it was Happy Feelings, he was doing this to me, and so I did it back at him. And now, of course, every time I am at one of those concerts, I'm doing this, giving it back to me. That's what he was doing. That was his call. His call was to take his artistry, his ability to embody what it means to be a believer. Because he said, I'm a believer, I believe in Jesus. He said that. I'm sure he wanted everybody to know. I'm not ashamed of that. But when he did what he did, he never called the name of God or Jesus while he was singing. But what he did was, through his music and through his gift and his vocals, he brought they can say it's a spiritual thing. He brought God in that room in a way that no church can do it. I don't care how good the sermon is, and I've been in church a long time, heard a lot of great preachers, but I've never seen anybody galvanize a group the way he did, without even asking us to take up a collection or telling us what we ought to do. He showed us, we felt it when he sang, And that was all that was needed for us to know that I don't care if he minds when he shows back up. We're coming, we're putting our white on, the music's gonna play, we're gonna dance, and we're going to clap as if he sang the whole time. Because that's what the Spirit of God does to the people who do what he asked them to do. And he was, and Frankie was kind of making that point too, that he had to sing. And when someone was interviewing him and they was asking him, because he in his room, him and his band, they lived together at least a year, where Marvin Gaye paid for their rent for a whole year and bought their instruments and everything. He was sharing this. I've heard him share it before, but and then somebody asked him, I think Roland may have asked him, was there any drummer with y'all? And he said, no, man, that don't make sense. No, we didn't have. What about somebody had a problem with you being out front? No, we didn't have that either. Because he knew how to lead people and he knew how to love. And this is my favorite thing, because he asked him, he had asked a lot of people, when he interviewed him, pick your best song, and everybody was saying, no, you can't just pick one. And if they had to, they said everything but the song he said. And when I'm listening to him talking and he's answering that question, and he asked him, what's your favorite song? And he said, that's hard. And then he said, if I had to pick one, he said that we are one. And I pointed at the television. I said, that is why you did what you did the way you did it. He said, because we're all one. We're all part of each other. So he brought that spirit to his music and to his lyric. And then guys, he would always say, bless your heart. He would always say that. And I always wondered, he was not that old when he was saying that. But and then when he said, sing children, all of that is church. We were going to church every time we went to one of his concerts. But it wasn't the same kind of church that we're accustomed to. It was the kind of church that made people know they were one. And people acted like they were one. And oh man, I shared in a thing I wrote about his music, the ode to Frankie Beverly. When the first time I went to a Essence Music Festival, my girlfriend and I, Rochelle, what's up, girl, from Philly too. We got tickets. Well, I think we found out late, and we got tickets way up in the bleachers. Maybe was trying to bleachers and wherever it was, up high. We wasn't on the floor, and we watched the people on the floor dance, and we looked at each other. We was like, on the way home, we was driving back from New Orleans to Dallas. We said to each other, we gonna be on the floor from now on, and we were. And that's when I had that experience dancing with that young brother to Happy Feelings. All of that, when people say, I can't find the words, I got the words. It's GODLOVE. That's what it is. And he was able to make us feel that, know that, and we responded to it. And that is what is quite honestly missing in the church. Because we feel that in the church, but we don't necessarily take it outside of the church. But you can meet somebody who like a Frankie Beverly made song can be on where you are and somebody else, and either y'all both singing or y'all looking at each other and smiling. You're doing something to say, I know who you are, because I know what you're about, because that's what this music is about. And I could not let this time go by without sharing that. We were listening to the gospel according to Frankie Beverly, and we were in the Church of Maves, because that is what the experience was when we were together. And oh, Rochelle, my girl. Okay, I'm doing a video about Frankie Beverly, and I just talked about how we wasn't gonna stay. we were gonna make sure he was gonna be on the floor when we went back to the festival. And I'm saying that on the recording because you called just when I was doing it. I love you. Then you're fine. I'm gonna call, girl, no, this is good. I'm gonna call, she told me she's sorry. I'm gonna call you back when I end my sermon. Okay, bye. Yes, that's my girl, because I called her earlier. Because we haven't had a chance to talk since this happened. So, let me turn this off so don't ring again. So that's what it is, y'all. Call it what it is. It is God infusing embodying the work of a man who truly loved God and loved people. Period. He could not write about it. He could not write about it. He had to. He had to sing it, and he had to write it. And the lyrics, you know, "We Are One," that is my favorite one. And I don't have favorites. None. I just don't. But I can appreciate what that means, and I should show. Maybe I will add that to this recording. Last time my class had a reunion, that me and my girlfriend Corliss, her brother, and I were dancing. Ro, what's up, bro? And Clayton, my boy from high school and middle school, he was dancing with somebody else. And "We Are One" was on, and when he got to the part, he said, "I cannot understand." Me and Clayton gave each other 5, and we're dancing with other people. That's just how powerful his word was, and his behavior was. And that's why you can't really put your finger on it. You can't explain how in the world he get all these people. We Rochelle and I, when we came to the festival the first time, we probably just wore whatever was going to wear to the concert. But the next year, we had decided we was going to wear white. We got there, a whole lot of other people had decided they were going to wear white. And every year it grew, and everybody knew on the last night they was going to turn it up, turn it out, and we were going to have our white on the floor, dancing with as many people as we can. There's a big old huge electric slide gang doing their thing, and then people off to the side, and I was one of the people to the side, just dancing with whoever would dance with me. That is how you bring the word to the people. That is how you do it. That is how he did it. That was his ministry. That was his call. And if I didn't take anything from any of the things that he said, he said how hard it was and how difficult it was. And when Marvin Gaye cut them off and told them, you know, do what you do like everybody else do, you know, send out demos, blah, blah, blah. And before long, and I mean he said not long after that, they started doing what he asked them to do. Somebody called. He couldn't even believe that they really was going to do it this time, but it worked out, and it was Capitol Records. And so Marvin loved him. He loved his work. He loved us. He gave it to us until he died. And I know, what's up, Cindy? I have a cousin who's like, I'm tired of singing song for him. And a lot of people probably felt the same way. And understandable. It's understandable. But he said when he was being interviewed, I think the only reason why he went so long, knowing his voice was going, and probably band was like, man, you know, when you gonna give it up? But he could not give it up until it was time to give it up. And notice, as soon as he stopped for real, he left. See, he left everything on the stage, everything, his voice included. He left the feeling of what it means to truly be in union with other people and get connected with people on a level that we are truly connected, on a soul level. We are. And if you really want to get deep, and that ain't really deep, under the skin ain't nothing different. And I'm a testimony, you can have both of them at the same time. It ain't nothing different. Everything. A spleen is a spleen, a heart is a heart, a liver is a liver. All of that stuff is the same thing. Else, you know, you can't get a transplant from somebody who's a different color, because that's the only real difference in us. And I would, you know, on another day I might beg that there might be some other differences that are important. But if I would beg that question, it would be my saying how people like Frankie Beverly are in the world and how they influence the world, and how he used his gift, he used his faith, he used his ability to lead and guide people and share with people. He used that until he couldn't anymore. He used it until he got called home. He got called away, and I'm sure he just probably drifted away. I don't even know. I wasn't there. I didn't hear. I haven't tried to find it. But when you have a life like that, you leave here knowing you did what you were supposed to do. And that was the last message he gave to me, is do what you know you're called to do. And it's not going to be easy, but do it. He didn't die. He just went home. And his home is probably, it's everywhere. It's not just in the sky. It's in our hearts. It's in the music. And we are never, ever going to forget how he made us feel and how he made us feel toward each other. Wow. There's no other way to say that except for it's love, because it's the key, and it's because it's God. In the words of On Time, Fully Spent, Frankie Beverly, we are one.